The soundtrack to my first year of high school would have been too on the nose if you were trying to make a film about the early 90s. It was just pure serendipity that at a time when I was first getting into really playing the guitar, learning to appreciate bands that were deeper than Warrant and Winger. And no shot at Warrant, Uncle Tom's Cabin is a real great song if you want to give it a listen. But at any rate, Smells Like Teen Spirit had exploded on the radio and MTV, and a new culture like that was born. Some call Gen Xers apathetic, but like most people on the cusp of a generation gap, they were just simply fed up. It sounds kind of cliche, but that's exactly when I started to question everything around me. And apparently so did the entirety of radio program directors and the music industry at large. Nowadays, it seems funny that my buddies and I used to watch Headbangers Ball on MTV, where hairspray-soaked semi-shredders were replaced by guitarists that actually let the notes breathe and the singers convey their pains instead of their post-show Hollywood conquests. That was probably the worst 3 paragraphs that I've written in a while. But yet somehow they were honest in a way that mirrored the times. Nevertheless, it was my reality. And trying to forget about it would be disingenuous because I did eat what they fed me. Man in the Box by Alice in Chains was on the screen and blaring through the speakers. I think we were all unsure how to receive it, but we knew it was undeniable in every way. The sound and imagery was a dramatic departure from the soulless, glossy material that we were watching for so long. Then, I forgot about it. It never really caught on at first. One day I decided to smoke a cigarette, and then ended up a town over at the cleverly named Watergate tapes. This is when tapes still existed. I was in a curious mood, so I asked the dude behind the counter to turn me on to something. He immediately grabbed the way too big package of the Dirt CD by Alice in Chains. Back in the day, they used to sell CDs in very tall packages, much like a TikTok video, vertically oriented. At any rate, I took his advice because he seemed like a cool enough dude, and I bought the CD, walked home, and popped it in. My Serwin Vega speakers exploded as soon as I hit play, and the first bars of Them Bones rattled my home. It was the biggest sound I'd ever heard. Thanks to my dad, who raised me on classic rock, it was still the heaviest shit I'd ever heard since like When the Levee Breaks or How Many More Times by the Mighty Zepp. The intervals that they chose to harmonize with, the dissonance that they used like a paintbrush, the tribal drum beats and thundering bass lines created a sonic landscape that would challenge any painter to recreate in a visual form. The lead singer Layne Staley was born in 1967 in Kirkland, Washington, and grew up around the Seattle area. From a young age, he was drawn to music, eventually diving into the local rock scene that would later explode into what we now know as grunge. And by the way, never once did my friends or I refer to this type of music as grunge. That term was just a marketing gimmick devised by people behind desks as a way to categorize the new phenomenon that was predominantly emanating from the Seattle area. At any rate, Layne became best known as the haunting and powerful voice of Alice in Chains, helping to define their dark, emotional sound in the early 90s. With songs like Man in the Box, Junkhead, and Wood, Layne's raw vocals and deeply personal lyrics made him one of the most unforgettable voices of his generation. Let's also not forget the guitarist Jerry Cantrell, who contributed immensely to the band's amazing vocal harmonies and song compositions. Then, in 1994 came Rotten Apple from the Jar of Flies EP. By this point, Layne had been battling a severe heroin addiction for many years, and the art reflected as such. This was not the Alice in Chains that punch you in the chest with songs like Them Bones or drag you through the dirt with tracks such as Junkhead. Rotten Apple felt different, slower, colder, more patient. It didn't sound like a band trying to conquer the world. It sounded like somebody sitting alone in the dark after the party was over, finally being honest with themselves. By the time Jar of Flies had come out, Layne didn't sound angry anymore. He sounded exhausted. The opening bass line drifts in like a fog, and when Layne begins to sing, there's even a resignation in his voice that is somehow even more unsettling than the rage on dirt. He isn't screaming. He isn't blaming anybody else. He sounds like a man who knows exactly what he has become, and maybe even worse, knows what helped create it. The central idea of Rotten Apple seems to be guilt. Not just guilt over addiction, but guilt over becoming the kind of person you once swore you would never be. The song circles around the idea of corruption, of feeling poisoned from the inside out. A rotten apple does not suddenly go bad all at once. It spoils slowly, quietly, one bruise at a time. That's what makes this song so devastating. Layne's lyrics are not dramatic in the usual rock and roll sense. They are painfully self-aware. When he sings about choosing a path and then living with the consequences, it feels less like a performance and more like a confession. There is no trace of the cocky rock star image that dominated the decade before. This is somebody staring directly into the mirror and not liking what he sees. And maybe that's why Rotten Apple still hit so hard. Because most of us know what it feels like to wake up one day and realize that we have compromised parts of ourselves. Maybe not in the same way, maybe not with the same stakes, but we know that feeling of drifting away from who we thought we were. Layne Staley could communicate that feeling better than almost anyone. He had a voice that could sound enormous and fragile at the same time. On Rotten Apple, you can hear both. You can hear the larger-than-life singer that helped to define an era, but you can also hear the frightened, isolated human being underneath it all. And once you hear it, it becomes impossible to unhear. As someone who has struggled with addiction as well, I connected with this on a level that was not just superficial. It was like a dirty chip mirror had been held up to my face, and it forced me to re-examine everything about my life. Music is not the cure-all, but it can sometimes be a healthy dose of vitamins and insight that leads you onto a path that you may have not taken. Layne Staley passed away in 2002 at the age of 34. Even so, his voice and influence still resonates today, leaving a lasting mark on rock music and the grunge era. He didn't ultimately overcome his personal demons, but I like to think that some of his work helped people who were in similar boats. Some boats sail, some boats sink, and that is the way of the world. Just like some apples spoil, and some are just plain delicious. Layne wasn't a rotten apple, but maybe feeling like he was just as bad. Thank you for hearing my take on this and this song that's so important to me. If you have your own interpretations, similar experiences, or just want to express your thoughts, feel free to do so in the comment section. By the way, if you do like this painting, the original is available on my website, www.framedope.com. You can also get prints in a t-shirt version as well. If you want, donate to my work in the links below. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that stuff that all the YouTube people tell you to do. It'll help a lot to try to build out this channel. Peace, love, and apples. Frame.